Okay, hello. I don't know how to like properly contain my excitement right now. Be composed, Miranda. Hey guys, my name is Miranda. Welcome to my universe. So, it is time for me to read a series that I have wanted to read for a really long time and I've never gone around to doing it, but it's the holidays and I am feeling a very cheerful feeling that, of course, needs to be quenched. So what better way to quench it than to read a series of unfortunate events? I cannot believe I'm about to unwrap this and I'm about to read it. Okay, so, series of unfortunate events. For those of you who do not know what this series is about, it is a children's series all about these 3 Baudelaire siblings as they go through all of these, well, unfortunate events. They have to evade the mysterious Count, I forget his name. I am a bad fan because I have seen the Netflix TV series, not all the way through, but I have seen it, so I feel like I should know the villain's name, and yet why am I forgetting? It's fine, you know, we'll learn together, shall we? Okay, so I'm about to unwrap this. You guys get to watch me do it because I am so hype. Like, I am so hype about this. For those of you who do not know the story, I found it at a thrift shop. Literally brand spanking new, as you can see. I impulsively bought it and I actually was going to sell it. I put it up on OfferUp and I did get many offers, but I never ended up selling it because I literally couldn't part with it. This has all led us to this moment. Also didn't want to part from it because I feel like I could read this with my children, you know? Which I will definitely keep it in pristine care for my children. It's here. It's here. I'm holding it in my hands, unopened. Okay, I want to see them. I'm gonna take each of them out. Okay, it's gonna be out of frame. I apologize. Yo, they have the deckled edges. I have heard wonderful things about this series. I know lots of people who read it when they were younger, and I never did. Unfortunately. Get it? Yep. Okay, yes. Very short, as you can see, series that I think should be very easy for me to get through. I'm very hype. Anyway, you will get to go on this adventure with me. This vlog will be very spoilery, so just keep that in mind. But welcome to the unfortunate vlog. Also, his name is Count Olaf. I just remembered that just now. It popped back in my brain. Of course, a little too late. As always. All right, we are gonna pretend like I don't look like this, okay? Cool. So, I am halfway through the first book, The Bad Beginning, and I'm just gonna update you guys and talk to you guys about what has happened thus far. We have our 3 main characters, the Baudelaire siblings. We have Klaus, who is extremely intelligent and he reads all of the time. Then we have Violet, who is also super smart, but in a different way. She always is thinking about different inventions and how she can make new things to help situations and to help benefit people. And then we have Sunny, who is like 2 years old, 1 year old. She bites things. She has super sharp teeth. I just think it's so funny, like the difference between the 2 older siblings and then we just have Sunny. Like the 2 older siblings are so smart and then we just have Sunny. She bites things. I don't know why that's like so funny to me, but it is. So anyways, one day their parents die in this terrible fire that burns down their entire house. So they basically lose everything except each other. They are sent to live with their relative, Count Olaf, except they're not really sure how he's related to them. He's kind of like that cousin that's like 3 times removed kind of deal. Like they didn't even know he existed until the man who is like overseeing all of their affairs and is overseeing their incredibly large fortune that their parents left behind. His name is Mr. Poe. He is the one that delivers the news to the kids that their parents are dead and that they have to now move to live with Count Olaf. Count Olaf is a terrible, terrible person. He doesn't take very good care of his house, of himself, and now that he has these 3 orphans living with him that he kind of adopted, except like not really. Like the entire thing is so freaking sketchy. He just doesn't know how to raise the children. Like he's a terrible parent. Anyways, with all of that being said, that's technically all I know right now because I am only halfway through the first book of a 13-book series. So nothing crazy has really happened. I just think it's super cool the way that it's written, and the tone of voice that Lemony Snicket has adopted is so unique, and I love it so much. I'm just so freaking excited. What's good, folks? Let's discuss this series. I like how I said that as if this entire video is not going to be about this series. I'm on the second book of a series of unfortunate events. This one's called The Reptile Room. Let's talk about what I have read thus far. I'm almost done with this one. I was wanting to finish it yesterday, but I ended up falling asleep. So that's exciting. So my goal right now is to finish this one. I would also like to finish The Wide Window. This is number 3. Yes, it is. In the first book, Count Olaf tried to marry Violet. So she's literally 14. You're literally trying to marry a 14-year-old. Like, and you're her legal parent? Anyways, so that was so gross. Obviously, that didn't happen. Now, in The Reptile Room, this one is pretty cool. I like this one a lot. They basically move in with their actual uncle. He is a herpetologist? I don't know how to say it, but he's the scientist that studies reptiles and snakes and lizards. In his house, he has a ton of species of snakes, lizards, everything you could ever imagine. Their uncle is planning this whole trip to Peru in order to study more species. And he hires this assistant. Can you guess who the assistant is? It is Count Olaf, but he is disguised as this person named Stefano. So nobody else can tell that it's Count Olaf except the children, because, you know, that's always how it goes. Long story short, Dr. Monty, their uncle, ends up dying from venom, but it's not from a snake, it's from Stefano. He set up this whole thing to make it look like an accident, but really it's not. He definitely killed Dr. Monty. And now he's trying to get the children to go to Peru with him. This whole series is so wild. I love it so much. All right, fam, I am about to go into work. So I wanted to talk a little bit about how far I am in the series. So I'm literally on the last chapter of The Wide Window. And then I will start the 4th one, which is The Miserable Mill. Yes, I have all of these books in my car. I have a lot of books in my car. I am hoping to finish The Wide Window and, like, I don't know, at least get halfway through The Miserable Mill. But I need to talk about what the heck has been happening. So basically, last I talked to you, I was reading The Reptile Room, I'm pretty sure, right? Well, as always, Count Olaf escapes. Runs away, they can't find him anymore. So in not the Miserable Mill, The Wide Window, they actually get sent off to their aunt's house. She lives in this house right on the edge of a cliff overlooking this humongous lake that basically, like, it's so huge it has hurricanes. Their aunt is basically scared of literally everything, and of course Count Olaf ends up finding out where the children are staying once again, and Count Olaf basically threatens the aunt to kill herself. She ends up faking the death, obviously. She actually writes this letter to the kids, kind of like saying, you know, I had to do this, you know, I just wasn't happy anymore. But the entire letter is just a code. And so the kids, because they're wicked smart, figure it out. She ends up hiding out in a cave, so they end up finding her. They have to steal a boat in the middle of this humongous storm. Everything kind of goes insane, but I love it. I think it's super cool because I remember this from the show, and I remembered The Reptile Room from the show. So far, I've been giving all of these books 5 stars. I realized I haven't really been rating them for you guys, but I just love the tone and the mood and just the way that the story is told and the characters. I love it so much. I can nerd on and on about them, but I need to get to work. Speaking of work, Brian, here's your shout out. You've been freaking getting at me for weeks on that, so. Anyway, love you all. I'll catch you on the flip side. I finished The Miserable Mill, which is book 4, just now. So let's discuss this. I am actually pretty sure that I didn't finish The Wide Window last I talked to you. Basically what happened is, what do you know? Count Olaf tracks them down in his boat. Naturally. Of course, Mr. Poe, you know, the bank man who really doesn't help at all, once again, doesn't help at all. And Count Olaf ends up escaping. Mr. Poe has to relocate the children. Yada, yada, yada. Their aunt actually ends up dying, which is super unfortunate. I feel like someone dies in every single book. So, Miserable Mill. I end up being hired by this man to work at a lumber mill, which is a terrible job. Everything about it is unfortunate, as always, and they basically are it's child labor. It's interesting because Klaus ends up going to this eye doctor, and whenever he comes back from the eye appointment, he ends up hypnotized. And so Violet and Sunny are left not knowing how the heck they need to fix this. In fact, the first time they obviously didn't know it was hypnosis, and so they just assumed that something terrible happened, that he lost his memory. But really, of course, Count Olaf is working with the eye doctor to hypnotize the children so he can obtain their fortune. You see a pattern here? Yeah? I'm not the only one? Okay, cool. I really liked this book still. I really was like, there is no way that these children are getting out of this. But then, of course, they get out of it, you know. And Count Olaf is found out, and someone ends up dying, of course, as always. Now they're being sent to a boarding school, which is very unfortunate. I'm gonna go to bed. It is 1:30 a.m. So I think I am going to start the 5th book. Let me grab that really fast. So the 5th book is The Austere Academy. They are sent to the boarding school because the original man who hired them at the lumber mill is like, heck to the no. Disaster follows these children everywhere they go, and he wanted no more to do with that, so he sent them to a boarding school. I'm quite excited for this. I remember this very vividly from the show, so it's going to be exciting seeing how this book portrays the story. All right, I'm guessing this is going to be the last part of this vlog before I decide to post it, because I finished the first 5 books of this series. So, The Austere Academy, probably one of my favorites so far in the series. Basically, they go to this boarding school where they're housed in this very small shack that people call the orphan shack. My favorite thing about this book in particular is that they actually meet 2 people and they make friends. They're basically triplets, but their brother died in a fire, and so there's just 2 of them left, so they befriend the Baudelaires. I thought it was super cool that they actually made friends and there was that character dynamic added to the mix, because that's unlike any of the other books, really. I don't really know if I need to go over the plot with you because it's literally the same. Count Olaf ends up getting hired by the boarding school to teach PE, physical education, and so he basically tries to tire out the kids to the point where they fail boarding school and have to be sent away. Thus, Count Olaf was trying to gain ownership of the children once again. What was different about this book also was the fact that you don't really get to know the exact ending of the book, because like all the other books, you get this ending, this resolution, but you know that it continues because they talk about like, oh, but the Baudelaires were sent to the next destination, and then you read the next book. But with this one, it really ended with Count Olaf escaping with their friends, the 2 friends. And so you have no idea where they're being taken, what's going to happen to them. So I thought that that was pretty cool too, because it was actually like it ended on a cliffhanger. So that'll wrap up this vlog. I am definitely taking much longer finishing this series than I originally hoped, but I blame it on finals because I have been doing school for so long and I wish that I could just spend so much time reading, but I cannot. I love you all. Please be safe, make good choices. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the rest of this series.